Let us all welcome BFF Academy and DRUKPA FC.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Kuzongpo, and welcome to the Changlimitang Stadium, where today's fixture brings together two sides desperate to rediscover the form that once saw them looking down on the rest of the Bhutan Premier League. It is BFF Academy against DRUKPA FC, 7th against 8th. These two clubs whose stories have been defined by much more than their current positions. For BFF, the season began in spectacular fashion, played fearless football and climbed to the summit. Looked every bit like genuine title contenders, but since the international break, momentum deserting them completely. 4 consecutive defeats, and here is the starting 11. Under head coach Karma, it is Tanipenjo, 21, King Awanchu 2, Chogal Sherap 3, Dechok Draka Toji, 14, Tanitsong, 12, Kinzan Kelson, 17, Som Toji 10, Ham Tenzin 34, Tanihunso 11, Rins Doji 7, and Chinle Yeze 19. Coming in as the home side this time around here at Changlimitang as we await the national anthem before we continue on.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are going to please rise for the national anthem.
again, ladies and gentlemen, Kuzampo and welcome. You just saw on screen the starting 11 for BFF Academy. Pretty much their strongest lineup. A couple of names they could have forwarded in that starting 11 as well. But without further ado, now moving onwards to the starting 11 of DRUKPA. And the head coach Kinza, it is Sachin Jha on goal. Kincho Topge, their captain, is getting the start this time around. Nyakam, number 7. Devu Atokpam, number 2. Woo Kyung Yun, number 6. Jimmy Tenzin, 10. Sangarinchan, 13. Pupdoji, 17. Philip Eugene, 21. John Miles Flynn, the American, is getting his start again. Chong Lee, 34. A solid performer in their starting 11. Now getting the start continuously. Alongside Fahad Timuri, 77 for DRUKPA FC. A couple of major names missing out in the starting 11. Bella, their captain, not in the starting 11. Pretty sure he is facing suspension for too many yellow cards. On the other end, mentioned the other towering Korean centre-back is on the bench as well. So a lot of options going forward. Kinle Ramke, happy birthday, is on the bench for with 14. Barun Kangebam, Karmatashi, Leon Sullivan Taylor, Yishiwanchu and Rehan Rajiv on the bench for DRUKPA. So a lot of firepower they have in reserve. As for BFF Academy, only a couple of major names missing. Tenru Jamso on the bench. Tenru Gelson Namdayutu as well. But these are the men responsible for holding the fort down here between these two teams. Main referee Pematong, assisted by Kile Penjo, Hastabadu Rai, and fourth official Ugen Penjor. Again, a reminder to both to our audience as to what is at stake, what the context is between the teams, what the narrative has been like for both. For DRUKPA, recently promoted down from the qualifiers, while they were called Namla FC, did have the services of Bella since then. A couple of same names in that squad. Nyakam and Yishiwanchu spearheading their offense during that campaign. Came up second in those qualifiers behind Thimphu FC, the Thunderbolts. And in their opening match of the season was put up against reigning champions Paro. And my oh my, did they put up a performance of the ages. Came up with a 4-2 victory against the reigning champions and soared up high. However, a lot of issues since then. Their last couple of games has been like so. No wins in their last 6 outings, 2 losses. Recently versus Thimphu, 1-2, versus Transport United, draws versus Tensung and RTC, and even before that, losses versus Tirang and Thimphu City. Their record going in, no wins in so long. As for BFF Academy, a similar record, up at the top of the league for so long, until they were shut off by those 4 losses since the international break. Their last win all the way back in the 27th of May versus Thimphu FC. So both teams looking to get their first on the board in a long while, and oh my, both are deserving as so, as we have the countdown to get things underway.
Let the countdown begin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And there is the starting whistle. BFF Academy in possession in white. DRUKPA FC fighting off from a defensive start in purple. An amazing jersey color, should I say so myself. But BFF Academy right now, their ability with their ground balls, second to none here in the league. May want to test that early on. Their captain, Rinzen Toji, one of the league's premier strikers, despite being very young. Part of a youth team as well, one of 3 to stay fully national, or fully local, in the sense without any foreign signings. The other 2 teams right now in the bottom 2, BFF, the only one right now with any sort of hope of climbing back up into the top of the rankings. Started off with one of the most congested seasons in a long time, possibly ever as well. But finally we see some separation. Early on it was 3 or 4 points separating first from 7th. Right now DRUKPA FC at 8, separated by 10 points away from league leaders Paro. Second right now is Transport United, and third Thimphu City, a point separating the top 3. There you can see Fahad Timuri has been an impactful player since being brought in alongside Rehan Rajiv, 77 and 88. Made their debuts up versus RTC, where they at least managed a draw. But his creative outlets, his deliveries have been met with a lot of clean finishing from his forwards. Looking forward to more on that one as BFF put to an early test right now. DRUKPA without their primary threats up in the air, Minchin and Bella. The captain who typically gets in most of their efforts back of the net past the goalkeeper. This time not in, as seemed like it was clipped off by BFF Academy. Corner all the other way on the other flank. Philip Eugene, a capable threat up in the air. Jimmy Tenzin, as we saw during the qualifiers, was the primary centre-back partner of Bella, was very capable as well. Do believe he's naturally more of a midfielder, but given his height, placed in that back position, which he's equally as comfortable as. This time delivery, short, right at the penalty area, cleared off by BFF. BFF. Opportunity deep inside DRUKPA. May not want to throw it in deep, because despite not having Minchin and Bella, Woo Kyung-yeon and company very capable of denying any threats that come their way up in the air, as a brilliant whip headed off by Jimmy. Thought that was going in his own net, but does well sending it out. BFF with the corner in response. Sonam, the trio up front with Sonam, Tilehezer on the flanks, and Rinzin Toji, as lethal as anyone could ask for. But a nice promise for Brunei's football to come, as Riz Toji separating himself from the pack. Gets possession outside the box. Back to Sonam. Chogal Sharap. Had one of their 2 goals in that 4-2 loss versus Transport United off of an amazing header. But Chogal Sharap, a guy from whom we can expect rockets going on later if he ever gets the space right at that centre line. DRUKPA FC's crowd do seem to be back alive and kicking after that battle early on versus Thimphu. Nice to see that energy and motivation has not diminished quite a bit. Hopefully it stays positive today. It is up against BFF Academy, who I'm pretty sure no one will, well, hate, for a lack of a better word. They are a team, no matter who you may support, you end up giving them a nod from your side, because they are our future after all. As BFF, early opportunity, this time a header. Contact is clean, just not enough to get it past Sachin. Missed wide out. Sachin not happy with the coverage his defense was showing. Woo Kyung-yeon making his appeals towards his goalkeeper as well. But that conversation out of a matter of concern. Chong Lee. Woo Kyung-yeon, as you can see, is covering for Min Shin in that centre-back role alongside Jimmy Tenzin. Chong Lee. John Miles Flynn, a solid, joined Namla's campaign down in the qualifiers midway. Got a couple of starts, got a couple of consistent minutes. But up here in DRUKPA, this is only the 2nd or 3rd time we have seen him in action, proper action. So hopefully he is able to bring the impact that they require out of him, as Fahad Timuri with the touch gets himself space behind. BFF still open lane, cuts right between the legs of the defenders, but not enough to find a teammate. John Flynn keeps it under control. Sange Rinchen had that one goal versus Thimphu. As for the rest of their squad, not really the production that keeps those fans active and alive. Sonam faked that cut quite beautifully, had the initiative, had the space, had he taken that shot. But BFF risky possession, and now Fahad, a lot of space down on that left, but getting to it first will be BFF, who will let it roll for a throw-in. Chogal Sharap, solid job there, getting that intimidation in across towards Fahad Timuri, who was discouraged from ever making a play on that ball. Looked like he had a chance there initially. BFF sent down off that double team. Chongli, right down the middle, not wearing his signature headband. Typically we see him donning that accessory, but for Rugen Academy it was Lochunyima who gave up his ninja headband. For DRUKPA it has been Chongli, who now no longer donning the headband, which he typically wears, as John Flynn advantage down on that right flank, but despite those strides, unable to get there before King Awachu. John Flynn, BFF, plenty of energy to spare in the first 10 minutes. Philip hands it over to BFF, who now find themselves a lot of space up front. Solid run. But Jimmy, right at the end of that pass from Rinzen Toji. Decent opportunity, at least with the promise on the build-up in the first couple of steps, but just not enough to find the finish at the end. Easy interception there for BFF again, and Nyakam putting enough pressure in behind Rinzen again, off with his touch. Nyakam, Kinch Topke. John Flynn, Philip Eugene back to Topke, who will switch it up over to Fahad Timuri. Chongli taking one from afar. Decent trajectory on that effort, but may not have been enough, had it been on target, to threaten Thor. Amazing decisiveness on that one at least. Fahad keeps it in play. Kencho able to get there in time. John Myers Flynn. DRUKPA. Chongli looking for that power, but too many bodies in the way. Clipped off a defender. Ricochet off to John Flynn, and a solid challenge there, sending it all the way out. Danin Seong with an absolute statement in that slide over to John Flynn, who had no chance getting out with that. DRUKPA, however, fortunate enough, gets a lob right in. Follow from Kencho. Goes all the way out. had the ambition there, at least proper contact on top. More often than not, we see those kinds of volleys either being sent out with a spin or the other direction, or we see it being sent right down to the ground, which ends up taking most of the power out of those efforts. So not really the worst Kencho could have done, but a good sign for things to come for DRUKPA, because they are for sure not being denied their advances towards the other side. Chinese tried to flick it up down the middle, but equally contested. It is DRUKPA. Woo Kyung-yun heads it up. Nyakam keeps it under control, and now Chong Lee sending it out. Philip Eugene may have enough pace to keep that ball online. Had the pace to get there on the first touch, but the second just sent it a bit too far out. There's your Drucker. DRUKPA committing a lot of bodies up front. Woo Kyung-yun. Amazing calm there from the defender. There is Doji, denied that chance nonetheless. Chong Lee. Now back to Sachin Jha. DRUKPA taking that sweet time. Jimmy. Right down the middle. Philip posted up heavy against Techuk Drucker. And now a lob right down the middle towards Nyakam. But it is Tanipenjo. Make sure he arrives right on time for clean-up duty. Chogal, shut up. Kinzer in. Solid pass there. BFF may have an angle. Sachin Jha trying to get right there, but Rinzin, your passes a bit too casual, trying to set it up for Tinle, but in the middle of it all, it was caught by DRUKPA FC. Chogal, shut up. Som Doji looking to try again, but will not find any connection at the end of that touch. Back out towards Sachin Jha for the restart. Rinzin putting enough pressure there on Jimmy. DRUKPA find a breach down on that right. Devo off to Kencho. Devo again expecting Philip Eugene to be ready for that run. But this time he will not be. BFF Academies for the throw-in. Kenjo on the right, not much space there for the delivery, but did well forcing that ricochet off of the defender. Corner again for DRUKPA. Steadily, the attendance here at Changle Mithang picking up as well. A really favourable weather. Slight intervention there from the referee, not quite happy with the contact inside. As Fahad curls in a beautiful one, but sent out, was headed past and in. Not quite sure who clipped the end of that. Was it Kencho or was it someone else? Again, a better look in. Philip Eugene did have the header, but seems like yes, it was Kencho. Was on target, was looking like a decent effort that may have gotten DRUKPA there first. But Kencho helping out BFF Academy on that effort. Not much time to think about that, however. DRUKPA FC still in possession. Philip Eugene. Devo. John Myers Flynn. Pass back towards 25, not quite there. As BFF now in possession. They do have options down the middle, but DRUKPA FC putting up a tight press against possession if they ever head near the flanks, which is making it really difficult for the youngsters to find a lane up front. As this time Chinle Ezer has the speed, gets him past Puptoji, but right up from the forward, right up in front. Chong Lee got it back, did not last long. Kenjo trying his best up front. Chinle setting it out for Tan In Sewang. Ball kept on line. A lot of options inside. Rins Doji may look for that shot, but Chong Lee right in the lane of that pass. Chinle cutting in right foot, and Chinle Yeze will have found the first for BFF Academy. Amazing effort sending that shot in. Plenty of power. Aimed right far away from Sachin Jaya as well. Close call right up in front of their own goalkeeper. And seconds later, it is BFF Academy who shows them how it's done.
Goal for BFF Academy, scored by just number 19, Chinle Ezer.
Amazing effort there from BFF Academy. Got them there first. Again, a closer look at that. That feint got him past Chong Lee. And Woo Kyung Yun expecting that shot towards the nearer side of the post, but ended up faking both the goalkeeper and the centre back out. Went back post. Amazing quality on that effort from Chinle Ezer. DRUKPA now on the back foot, still haven't reached the 20-minute mark. BFF Academy lead by 1, but DRUKPA FC has been the team that has looked more promising up front, just that they have not been rewarded. Winding up, Sangye Rinchen looking to get one in off down the wing, but that cross in is blocked off before it could ever leave the ground. Jimmy, header towards John Flynn, sent back out to Jimmy. John Flynn, Jimmy, waiting Rinzin to come in, send that pass right down the middle. Still Jimmy with that header. Fahad, clean slide. All that's left for BFF is find a couple of connections up front, but Kinzerig's in way of balance, will not find a touch. However, Nyakam on the other end looking to get things dangerous. Shot goes in! Kencho Topke came close early on, but this time will make no mistakes. A response inside minutes from DRUKPA FC, and it is the man who brought them right off the ashes as well. Tandon Benjo caught completely off guard on that one. Couldn't muster enough power in those legs of his to get a dive in, and it is clean nonetheless, as we now have one from DRUKPA in response to the opener from BFF. 1-1 the score right now, as the fans who have come here at Chang Limitang to show some love to both teams with a treat early on. Rinzin tried to send that header, but Jimmy right in behind, putting that block up. BFF get it back to Asom Dochi. Did take it a bit too far with that roll. Did have enough pace to get back on the recovery, however. Still BFF's Chogal Sherap. Nyakam closing in. Will do well denying that shot, potential shot from Chogal Sherap, because he has an absolute cannon in those legs of his. Sent it right down the middle, right towards Chong Lee. Fahad Simuri, miscommunication. That touch now opens up a lot of space for Chinle. Is there? Goes down. But it is called clean. Sachin just to take for DRUKPA. Jimmy Tenzin on that right. Maybe the outlet if DRUKPA wants to play it slow. Yup, it is Jimmy. Philip Eugene getting his touches deep inside their own half. Now back out, Woo Kyung Yun. Chong Lee helping up. There a lot of space right up in front of Jimmy that Chong Lee may want to capitalize on. Devo dropping back, John Flynn. Off of that turnaround, finds an open lane towards Chong Lee, who is setting up a delivery right inside, but it is headed off. Fahad Simuri looking for the follow-up, wind it downward, blocked off on that first attempt, and John Flynn panicked as he sent it right towards the academy boys. And now equal in terms of numbers. BFF have one more on the left flank. Devo not falling for that fake, lobbed up high. Rinzin Toji, it is even further behind. Chile is a left foot, just not enough power on that one, as BFF however still retains possession. Tanin Sewang looking to curl one in for a header, but way too hard on that one, way too far as well. It will go right back out to Sachin Jha for the goal kick. Again, a closer look at that effort. Seems like Puptochi managed to close in right on time. Yup, he did clip that shot, which looked really dangerous. A similar setup as the one he scored early on, this time with the other foot, showing his capacity with the ball at his feet. With both feet, in fact. One of the few in the squad capable of that sort of execution. Rinzin, too heavy of a touch there with that thigh. Stolen off by Devo. Back to Jimmy. John Flynn in the middle. Chong Lee this time a bit more up front. May look to get himself involved in their goal scoring efforts. But right now, Kencho doing well. Rinzin may have been clipped there by Jimmy, but does well getting past John Flynn. But Bhatimuri will send it right off to Chong Lee. Fahad Kencho making that run straight down. Thought Fahad was making that run, set it up quite decently had that run been there, but without that one, just an easy pick up there for Tanipenjo. BFF. Still the chance. They are getting a clean succession of passes in, and it ends in a powerful shot there from BFF Academy. Not quite sure if Sachin had a hand on that. Seems like they did, as the signal has been given away for a corner. An unfortunate bounce off of Fahad's interception. Not intended, but ended up in them. Amazing shot there from Sonam Toji. This time the header keeps it right inside that box. Maybe cleared off. Yes, it is. Jimmy setting it right up front for Kencho, who may want to find a teammate. Fahad right there. It is 3-on-3 up front, but that delivery cut short. BFF, Philip Eugene down for DRUKPA, but it will be a while. BFF wanting to take advantage of their numbers. May want to finally send it out. Yes, they finally do, as the referee gets over to Philip Eugene to get the DRUKPA forward evaluated. Look at that shot from Kencho that found that equalizer for DRUKPA. Not really the most powerful, but that placement just enough to throw the defender and goalkeeper off balance. Now back in play, DRUKPA FC repaying that possession in kind back over to BFF Academy. Toji off to Fahad. This build up looking promising. Philip Eugene right there inside, but that delivery just a tad too much power inside that cross, and BFF will now find out. Well, cut short mid sentence. It is DRUKPA FC in possession. Devo again, despite BFF Academy scoring a goal, it is DRUKPA who had a lot of promising chances right up front. Point blank, Philip Eugene denied 2 shots. As the referee will say that final shot went off of a save from Tanipenjo. It will be a corner for DRUKPA again. Look at that up in the air, but that follow-up, Chogel Sherab lost on that possession. Left behind, clipped the shin of Philip Eugene. Fatimuri, delivery a bit too short. Chongli. At the 30-minute mark, the pace of this match slowed down quite considerably. Now a bit more calmness in this match Unlike the sheer vigor that both teams opened up with, BFF Sonam stolen off by DRUKPA. John Flynn. Philip Eugene, but BFF Academy, their energy will force a retreat from DRUKPA, who now take it back to their goalkeeper, Woo Kyung Yun. Amazing quality on that centre back. Plays either the wing, plays either in that back line, can definitely play midfielder or winger as well if the need ever arises for DRUKPA. But Chongli and Fahad Timuri, plenty enough to cover that position for now, as Fahad Timuri gets a delivery right in. Right inside, Kencho looking for that follow-up, but the referee whistle will set it back the other way. Throw in, down the flanks, sent off, deflected by John Flynn. Fahad Timuri looking to launch it up towards Kencho, but a lot of power behind that pass. Catching their forward completely off guard. DRUKPA. Possession possibly lethal, but a wild swing and a miss will send it out for a throw-in for BFF Academy. Devo. Fahad. First effort blocked off. Still DRUKPA to play. 10 minutes left in regular time, but the pressure just continuing to mount. It is coming up in waves after waves. DRUKPA unrelenting. That sheer volume may eventually get a proper one in, but the delivery inaccurate will be a moment of fortune for BFF, who now have the chance to get something going for themselves as well. DRUKPA. They are facing off against a compact block from BFF Academy, who did well tracking back. Seeing that counter build up from DRUKPA. This time they, however, get a delivery in. Kencho! Decent chance there. Ended up in a contact from their own teammate. So that is one thing out of this effort that they may take away positively. Time and time again we see possessions fluctuate, fizzle out without ever seeing a hint of being a goal. But this time at least Kencho Topge already has one on the board. Maybe the right personnel to follow up on, to look for their second. Amazing move there from Tanin Sewang. May set his teammates up. Dodo posted up. Off on the left. No longer any advantage. DRUKPA closing up very quickly indeed. Sonam may look to keep that offense alive. Sonam pulling up from way outside. So on the other end, Sachin Jha ends up sending it all the way out to the sidelines. Fahad off to Kencho. That left flank closing in with amazing speed. BFF wins a goal kick right back. Fahad no chance with that one. Somdoji, BFF's number 10, seems to be down, not quite sure what the contact was. They took him out, but hopefully it is only something minor and is able to come right back in. It is a crucial part of BFF Academy's build-up. Posted right behind Dodo and right in the middle away from Tinlegezer. That trio spiced things up a lot in the beginning of their campaign, but since then the last couple of games have been a troubling spell. Prince Indoji right now, his caliber showing in the record he has right now. 7 goals to his name, second right now behind Paros Yuta, who has 8, up in the top scorers list. And the chance to get right back into that top rank in that list at least. A win here will mean a lot to both teams. Woo Kyung-yeon. Well, stolen off by BFF Academy, who had the chance to get things going, but are forced to retreat from a throw-in. Maybe enough time now for DRUKPA to consolidate that back line of theirs as BFF look to mount one more attack. 4 minutes left in regular time. Not quite sure how much extra time we'll be getting. Sewang Tenzin tried a bit too much. Chong Lee stealing it away. Kencho back to Chong Lee. Back to Chong Lee again from Philip. Over on the other end, Fahad, a solid touch there, but BFF closing in like a bull there. But this time around, may have been a bit too much there from Tanin Sewang. As Fahad gets the whistle from the referee. Again, a closer look at that. Solid touch, kept it right there on the spot. But all good between the two. As Fahad, very inconsistent with the crosses he is putting inside that box towards his teammates. But if there was ever a time where he found that perfect connection, this may be it, as DRUKPA looking to run in. But a bit too much strength there on that ball again. Chong Lee winning it right up, sends it right out. Possession for BFF Academy. Tanin. Soft one back out. Taking up. DRUKPA closing in. Not many angles for BFF to take. A bit too narrow there for Toto. Tried to set it up front for Chile. But read like a book. Woo Kyung Hyun now up front of Timuri. Kept under control. Chong Lee all the way at the halfway line up to Philip Eugene, looking to connect as many bodies up front as possible to get them the numbers advantage. Chogol Sherop. Now up front BFF to have Rinzin Tochi at the end. BFF right inside DRUKPA's box, left foot saved by Sachin Jha. Follow up John Flynn. Solid there on that possession, cleaning it up from John. Amazing decisiveness to have taken that shot first time as well from Todo. Mashed up against Devo, that feint gave him just enough time, just enough of an angle to get it towards the nets.
There will be a minute of additional time.
One more minute added until the referee decides that this is it, as BFF will throw away yet another possession. Had the chance to get something going, had the chance to keep that last possession, but now it will be up to Sachin Jha and DRUKPA FC. Devo off of BFF, still DRUKPA to play. Fatimuri all the way on that other flank. That matchup pretty confident there from hard off the woodworks. Follow up, saved again there. A solid net up front for Kencho. Off of that rebound from that header from Philip off of that side post. But decided to send it down on the ground itself, where Danny Benjo was waiting. And with that, DRUKPA 1, BFF Academy 1 is where we'll end the first half. So far, an intense bout between the two, not many conversions, but the volume of chances both teams are getting should be good signs for the second half to come. Slight adjustments. Not quite sure what they'll be, but a draw right now will help neither. Again, a closer look at that Philip Eugene off the side post. Joe right there with that follow-up, but sent it right towards the goalkeeper. But it will matter not. The first half has ended until the second one begins. Well, peace out.
Sitte bitte, ich habe schon noch vor.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kuzangpo, and welcome back again to the second half of the bout between BFF Academy in white and DRUKPA FC in purple. Right now, the score is level, courtesy of an opener from Chilingeze for BFF in the 17th minute. And DRUKPA FC, who found the equalizer through Kencho Topke in the 19th, just 2 minutes later. All it took to find their first and bring things back to square one as Sangi Rinchen, a slight heart attack there. Tried to send it to Jimmy, but that one touch not really working out as well as he had hoped it would. But still out of that, it is DRUKPA's possession, and back now to Sachin Jha. Chongli, heavy contest from behind by Chilingeze. Dodo stepping up. Fahad got possession but has been flagged offside. Did well intercepting that ball, but just unfortunate with the way he was positioned when that pass began. Also a reminder to our fans as to what sort of personnel are on the bench for DRUKPA. Minshin, their centre-back, typical centre-back, their Korean centre-back is in the bench. Bella, facing suspension. Barun Kangibam, Karmatashi, Leon Sullivan, Mishwanchu, Rehan Rajiv. So a lot of names they could use going forward into the second half. But so far their first 11 doing a pretty decent job. As Kencho, amazing pass there towards that right flank, Sangirik Chen. Devo, decent delivery in chaos inside that 6-yard box, but out of it. DRUKPA ends up with possession nonetheless. Fahad, right inside, Tanir Penjor up in the air, managed to slap it away, but decided to go for it with a shot ricocheted in between the two defenders from BFF, who will now send it off for a restart for DRUKPA from their own half. Rinzen looking to wind up for a proper effort, but couldn't quite get the lift nor the accuracy he needed for that one. Decent effort nonetheless. Had that back line erupted in a fit of chaos there. Sachin Jha definitely anticipating a much better effort. Will be breathing a sigh of relief as that one missed far and out. But looking for a response immediately. Kencho looking to make a run in. Sonam, heavy challenge there, wins possession back. It is clean, but John Miles Flynn. Still John Flynn. Chinle went at that ball and came out of nowhere. Fahad in between, still no touch there. Chinle tries to cut back in, retains possession against the two from DRUKPA. Chogel. Too high up for Tanipunso. Well, a series of unusual flicks kept it for BFF until DRUKPA simply snatched it away. Now Fahad looking to wind up for a proper effort. On target, decent pace. Just went towards the goalkeeper. Jimmy this season had the chance to play a bit up front with Bella and Minchin coming in as well on that for that centre-back role. But without both of the two, Jimmy Tenzin with his height posted in that back line was right there alongside Bella during the qualifiers. This time continuing on as Fahad up front, left foot, and an easy roll yet again. The second time in this match that this has happened. The first from Kencho, a similar delivery. The second from Fahad. Just rolling in, calm and casual past Tandin Penjo. Just not enough pace on that shot that you would typically expect from these guys. But that change up making all the difference. The second time Tandon has been caught off balance with a similar shot. And look at that again. Went towards the net ever so slowly. And Tandon expecting a much faster one. Just couldn't get his reactions correct. Chongli down the middle, Philip Eugene down on the flanks. Momentum completely with DRUKPA. Even early on when BFF scored that opener, it was DRUKPA who looked like they would forward the first goal. But in the midst of it all, a chaotic possession, got a chance there for Chinling Yeze. Todo up front. But that ball just a bit too far out, Sachin Jaz it is. BFF. Their goalkeeper in trouble right now. Their teammates may want to step up a little bit, alleviate a little bit of that pressure that is pouring constantly down the goalkeeper's mind. DRUKPA in possession. John Flynn gets that touch clean and back. Does well controlling it. That left foot found a lift enough to get past those two defenders. Now up to Chogal Cherap. Kenga. Thumb down the middle. BFFs to take, tries playing a long one. Recovery on that second ball is decent. Looking to cut in, plenty of speed down on the flanks. But now the other way, Fahad, that left flank, plenty of rewards coming his way. Sends it off to Kencho. Not much advantage, will decide to play it safe back to Chong Lee. Seems like with that, Puptoji finally getting evaluated. The medic has been called on the scene as well. BFF hands it right back out to DRUKPA. Dodo closing in, not really allowing for much comfort. A little bit of confusion down on the ground. Fahad clears it off, but back to BFF. Chance now. Down that left flank, they have found so much success on that right alongside Chinle Yezer, with Dodo taking advantage of the winger's gravity. But right now deciding to switch it up down the middle. Amazing flick there, but Chinle not expecting it. Does have enough pace to get to it before. Woo Kyung-yeon, and an amazing shot. Just had a defender right in the path of that ball. And now a counter for Hatimuri down on that left flank. Clean challenge coming in from BFF, setting that attack back by a couple of precious seconds. Throw in play short, and John Flynn with a flick gets past the first but stolen from behind. Momentum shut off by the two defenders in front. And BFF now on the right, but DRUKPA, look at that press again. That has been creating a lot of panic from the side of BFF Academy, out of which DRUKPA has created for themselves a lot of chances. Looking to do the same right now. No advantage gained. Still BFF's possession, however, as they bring in a couple of substitutions. Something's in, taken out for Arpan Gurung. And Kinza Drupto coming in for Kinza Rigzin. Two subs for BFF, but does seem like DRUKPA is preparing a couple of subs of their own as well. Leon Sullivan all the way down, right next to their bench, warming up. May get a couple of minutes in. Kinga. Strong header there, but John Flynn at the end sets it up in the middle for anyone to take. It is BFF who gets a clean one in towards DRUKPA. And now Devo. Rinzin closing in. Devo, not much freedom to work with. Philip Eugene gets a deflection of a BFF Academy. DRUKPA's ball it is. Solid energy up front from Arpan. BFF's number 9. Should be a smart help for Rinzin. Up front, coming in, he is making a lot of commitment towards those presses. And now for Hatsumuri. Kinza Drupto. Back out to Sachinja as we steadily approach the 1 hour mark. Ball out, man down again. This time it is Philip Eugene for DRUKPA. The referee signaling for a stretcher. Philip Eugene was being bothered by his legs since the start of the game and finally seems like it will take him out. Well, after calling in the stretcher halfway, they have been signaled right back out. Great to know that at least they were right there if the need ever came. Sachin Jha, now out to Jimmy. Still a bit too early for DRUKPA to play this relaxed as BFF. Cut down right down the middle by John Myers Flynn. Devo looking to gain some advantage of his own, but not enough space to move forward. Chong Lee. It is Woo Kyung Yun who sends one wide out to Fahad Timuri. He has been the focal point of their offense, but is on the losing end of the matchups this time around. BFF's tackles on that wing, coming in clean, coming in hard. Except for that one time where Fahad enjoyed the glory of a goal about 10 minutes earlier. This time gets a clean delivery and Philip Eugene contact, but the flag was up. Kinza, back out to Kinga. Chinle, right up front, is onside, right inside, Rinzin, the finish is left. Will miss the post completely. As finally substitutions being made for DRUKPA. Again, a closer look at that shot. Rinzin, left-footed, just a bit awkward. Also for DRUKPA, it is Leon Sullivan Taylor coming in for Puptoji. Amazing chance created from that right flank. Just unfortunate that it missed the mark by quite a margin. Now back to Tandon.
Substitution for DRUKPA FC. Just number 17, Kudoji is replaced by just number 32, Leo.
Right back out for BFF Academy. Leon Sullivan this time has dropped behind. Kencho right alongside John Flynn. That goal kick right up in the air. Woo Kyung Hyun sending it right back out. DRUKPA may end up at the end of this possession. Leon Sullivan, amazing pace off of that setup from Kencho right inside. Philip Eugene, but Tenepincho this time, amazing effort keeping that shot out. And the follow-up, decent, right on the line. Rinzin had Arpan right up. That pass never came. In the end, when he saw his teammate, already offside by then. A closer look at that first setup from DRUKPA. Philip right in front of the goalkeeper, who this time manages to get a decent save in. Positioned perfectly. And the counter from BFF looked lethal at least. Fahad. Run shut down with the challenge. Clean this time again as well. And BFF will get possession. Brings in. It is Devo's header. Cleaned up by BFF, but now caught out of position. Devo let out on a run down on that right flank. Too strong for that challenge. Still Devos keeps it on line, but Tandon, BFF's goalkeeper, finally coming alive after conceding those two in. Amazing flick there. Chinle, Arpan right up front, will hand it off right down the middle instead, and that challenge way too late. As Chong Lee sends Sonam down. But the referee, a couple of words on that one. Desperation evident on that challenge as BFF Academy and their youngsters building up momentum brick by brick. That's Rinzin. Step over, left foot, got right in, only the finish left. But an unfortunate stumble will stop that ball right in its tracks. As it seems like this time Woo Kyung-yeon and Sachin Ja both are down for DRUKPA. Jimmy can't get it to Chong Lee, but Jimmy still gets the recovery in, and now up to Leon Sullivan Taylor, who gets a clean one in towards Kencho. Still Kencho, Kinga closing down on him, set back. Delivery inside, headed off. Looking for a strike from way afar. Not on target this time around, but BFF will have to respect that effort. As it seems like yet another substitution coming in. Philip Eugene taken out, coming in is Ishewanchu. BFF may have a chance right inside, but Sachin Ja stepping up for the cleanup right on time as well. And now Leon Sullivan, plenty of runners, sets up a beautiful one for Fahad. Leon's passes right out of the sub, looking amazing. Kinga this time at the end of that cross in, right in the face of Leon Sullivan, and BFF finally sends it right back out. Jimmy, Leon, Devo, close there in setting it up for Yishe, but got a foot in. Desho Drucker will send it out for a corner. That corner from DRUKPA ends up with BFF, who may be looking to play it up front towards Arpan, who is flagged offside. Just a momentary lack of focus there as he was looking to get a read in on that pass from Chinlegezer. As man down for DRUKPA. Minutes left on the clock. Fahad Timuri taking his time down on the ground. They do have the medic right there. Pins in on that left. Gets one right inside. Turned in. As good of a look as they could have possibly expected to get. A closer look at that again. Did well. Getting Leon to bite on that first feint. Still one for BFF. Still two for DRUKPA. Kenjo. Getting his defenders involved. John Miles Flynn. John Flynn. Solid up front. Kenjo. In the midst of so many amazing connections. At the end of it all, Fahad Timuri looking for a teammate. But catches a body from BFF in the midst of that ball going in. Both of BFF's forwards offside on that run. May not be a situation they want to face going forward as John Flynn comes out with possession. Fahad, BFF waiting for a call. That never came, launched one in. Despite the advantage, still unable to catch BFF off guard. Out of which the youngsters now looking for a run in. Tandin Punso this time has the flag raised against him. It will be DRUKPA's to play. Leon Sullivan on the right, Devo. So many patterns repeating here in this game. Hopefully we see something deviate from the norm. As he share a crucial part of Namla's rise to the proper league from the qualifiers alongside Kenjo Topke. His quality still continuing on here in the league. But even for Chinlegezer, that pass may have been a bit too far out. Ishe. Cleared off strong there by BFF. Was driven, but the rebound plenty enough for BFF to still get possession. Heavy challenge coming in from DRUKPA, but it is now Rinzin Doji on that left matchup against Devo. Help coming in from Jimmy and the shot falls in. Pretty sure that shot got a defender mid-flight, but will not matter, was going in anyways. As BFF Academy, with a quarter of an hour remaining, have found their answer to match DRUKPA second. And with that, Rinzin Toji back up on top, right alongside Yuta Mishima. 8 goals to his name in the campaign for this season.
Goal for BFF Academy, scored by just number 7, Rinzin Dorji.
The captain had it coming for a while, haven't seen him score in a while, and has brought his team back alive in a moment where it looked hopeless for BFF Academy. But still plenty more to play. DRUKPA FC, despite dominating possession, are conceding a lot of goals over to BFF, who do not necessarily need the same amount of touches, the same number of time, only a few attempts all they need to get one in. DRUKPA will do best to not make those same mistakes again, as Fahad gets past 2, right up inside, Leon Sullivan, Kencho it is, but an amazing save from Thunderpenjo will deny that effort, but it is nullified nonetheless. Offside flag up against DRUKPA. Thunderpenjos to take. BFF's personnel again offside. Arpan posts it way too deep. Jimmy and Woo Kyung Yun all the way around the center circle. Two for BFF, 2 for DRUKPA right now. As Leon almost got a shot off, but it is now up to Rinzin Doji, tracking back. Devo, equally pacey. It may be a hard matchup there for Rinzin. Does try to look for help, but cleared off strong. Winding up, BFF. Done in Sewang with a solid opportunity there. Just a gentle reminder right now for DRUKPA to not give these youngsters that much room, because if allowed, even someone from their back line may come up and put one in. BFF, Rinzin, looking for a run down on that left. That ball may have just enough pace. Jimmy closing in, but went right over Sachin. DRUKPA, Devo, all the way up front just after defending that possession. Amazing motor from the right back, gets one curler in. Fahad sending it up yet again, but Kencho posted way too deep in. Jimmy does well, snatching that right out of the air. Devo, Jimmy on the overlap. Right inside, Tandon does well denying that first effort, and that rebound will go off towards BFF Academy. Sonam, with the desperate hope at redemption, went in with a challenge. simply ended up going right towards Woo Kyung-yun's legs. Chong Lee, strong there, but in the midst of going for that challenge directly, it is BFF. Off of Jimmy, lets it roll for a throw in. DRUKPA played short to Sonam. Calm angle right down the middle, still Sonam. Kencho coming in, but now cleared off to Chogal Cherab, that right lane. A lot of gaps right in behind. But DRUKPA does well with the recovery. Got a foot there just in time. Less than 10 minutes remain. Still deadlocked at 2. Dechok. Right down the middle, still Dechok. Mashed up against his shape. Cannot find a proper pass in. And now Kencho with the reins in his hands. Leon taking that run. Fahad on the flank as well. Tried to get it under control, but just a bit too wild with that one. BFF, a string of unfortunate circumstances now. Ending with Leon's shot blocked off quite proper there. It will be a corner for DRUKPA. A closer look at that possession again. Fahad out of that chaos, got it towards Leon. Launched off an absolute rocket there. Then the Benja will be ever so glad that that ball never came his way. It is still one more wave to fight off. Fahad at the corner. Solid delivery. A touch in from Woo Kyung-yun. Arpan will have to be careful. He is not offside because a decent cross in may come. Did as well. Sonam right up in front of Sachin Jha. A closer look at that gave the signal. Devo caught off guard. Jimmy a bit too far behind. And Sonam a bit too far forward. Ended up denying that cross instead. Crossing again, this time headed off. BFF do get yet another chance. Desho Drucker, Rinzin on the left, the captain. Can we see one more from him? Amazing footwork there. Had Devo stumbling, but the help that came in. Deflected off of BFF, ball still online. But Devo steals it off. Yishe down the flank. Devo for help, but will send it off long towards Leon Sullivan instead. Well, an unfortunate touch that sent it right out to Rinzin. Tenupunso off now to Chile. Looking to get a pass in over to that flank where Rinzin is back in again. This time cross delivered, but too hard on that one. 5 minutes remain on the dot. DRUKPA do have the numbers advantage up front. Fahad, a lot of space, but that curler will set him right back out in the way of that challenge. Throw in for DRUKPA. BFF Academy, a lot of space, a situation they really enjoy. Gets a decent cross in. Placed a bit too far forward. No advantage gained in that possession. BFF looking to retry again. The stretcher is being called on for the second time. Hopefully it is put to use, as it seems like this time it is a bit more serious there for DRUKPA. Back in play for BFF right now, an advantage for the youngsters before DRUKPA feels one more. Tejok off now, Turin's in, left footed, right inside, but Sachin punched it right out. May have been a bit severe there. A closer look at that one. Rinzin came in, Sachin went right out. Seems like the contact was with the elbow. 4 more minutes of additional
There will be
time.
4 minutes of
Close call there for
additional time.
BFF. Seems like he is okay, but now it is BFF a man down as 2 players preparing to onboard for DRUKPA. There are the subs coming in for Sangirinchen. It is Somdoji coming in. And the other guy signed alongside Fahad Timuri. Well, seems like Fahad Timuri is being taken out for Rehan Rajiv, 88. Decent effort right now from BFF, having kept it at a draw right now. Will be a fortune point for them given the string of losses they have put forward in their last 4 games. BFF in possession, but DRUKPA, a lot of vigor, a lot of energy coming in those presses, but Tandin sends it right down the middle towards a teammate, is able to find one, but too heavy of a double team coming in. Devo gets that header in. A leg in the way. BFF getting a bit reckless on that one. It is again Sonam, already has a yellow. A closer look at that incident. Yup, this time it was touched to the head. Fortunate for Sonam, ends without any major incidences. Up to Sachin Jha. Only a minute left. Somdoji in possession for BFF. Chinle making a quick run down on that right if that release can be timed. But that outlet came in way too late. Should have given Chinle a bit more room to work with there. As that challenge from Rehan Rajiv will send Chinle down into the ground. Throw in played short. DRUKPA may have possession at the end of it all, but it rolls out unfortunately. BFF, and now with a much better chance. They do have numbers coming in, will do well to regroup. Now out to their back line. Rins in all the way on that left flank against Devo again. Rins in. Delivery right inside, a header! Sends it off to the side. On the other end, DRUKPA looking to get the final laugh. Not much time remain, way past the allotted additional time. Tandin. If BFF can blitz this one in, they may get one last shot. Clipped off. Leon Sullivan, DRUKPA. Looking to get the last effort, Chong Lee! Well, at least a decent effort from DRUKPA to cap off Yet another draw for DRUKPA. It is the first point BFF Academy on the other end has gotten in 5 matches. So despite it being a draw, they will be more than happy enough to take it. As both teams, no advantage gained. Same possessions still. As BFF Academy from 10 will jump up to 11 right alongside Sirang. And DRUKPA will jump up to 10, but they are still 7th and 8th. Amazing efforts, both sides. Just unlucky with how the shots just weren't falling. But with that decent effort from both sides, it will end 2 for DRUKPA, 2 for BFF Academy. Until the next one, peace out.